The light from a high sun flickers through the trees in a dense forest. Speeding along a winding dirt path, a man propels an all-terrain recumbent trike, hurtling around twists and turns. The man, Sebastian Zuko, sports a gray beard. He wears dark goggles, a bike helmet, and gloves. He is seated low to the ground with his legs fully extended in front of him and his back against the seat back of a blue Lasher handsicle. The gears and hand-turn pedals are in front of him at chest height. He uses constant circling motions, reaching out, pushing the pedals, then down and drawing them back for each smooth rotation. He leans left and right as he careens around tight curve. Eric Wyanmayer.
I met Zuko through my friend Bob Kaufman, and Bob was guided by Zuko in Peru, and they stayed in touch. And so I would hear Zuko's story through Bob, and I was really fascinated on all the things he was doing. And then Bob showed me a video of him climbing Cayambe and paragliding off the summit, and I thought, oh my God, this guy is the most badass human being I think I've ever listened to.
Zuko races downhill, plying the gear shifters and brake handles, which he holds in both hands, along with the pedals. At home, children's paintings and toys are strewn about. Zuko's daughters play near their father. One of the girls swings on a trapeze-style lift.
And in 2015, I had an accident. I was doing some practices at a high rope course. I had a miscommunication with my belay partner, and I had a fall close to 12 meters. So I have a spinal cord injury. I think I have right the amount of mobility or strength in my arms to be independent, but I am considered almost a quadriplegic.
In footage before his accident, Zuko climbs in a snowy landscape.
Before my accident, I used to work as a mountain guide. It was amazing. I found a very strong passion in rock climbing and mountaineering. So when I had my accident, it was very scary to me because I've lost my work, my job, I lost my passion, having a family that depended on me, and I couldn't find a way to work, so it was really, really hard. I think I'm very thankful with mountaineering and climbing because it gave me a lot of things. I have so many really good friends from climbing and mountaineering.
Zuko is climbing the vertical face of a snowy peak.
So Cotopaxi is this perfect cone-shaped volcano, one of the mountains I see the most, and I really wanted to go back. Cotopaxi was probably the mountain I've climbed the most. It's 5,780 meters. Bob told me that Eric wants to come to Ecuador and wants to meet me, and we started to plan this trip.
Eric is on site.
We are here in Ecuador to help Sebastian reach the top of Cotopaxi. Today we are climbing Paso Choyo for acclimatization. I'm so excited to be here to, and the whole team, Chris and Bob, to support Zuko.
As they hike, Eric listens to the bells and follows the team member ahead of him. They ascend a trail in single file. Nearby, men hammer rocks into the ground. Eric uses 2 walking sticks to find his way across a wooden walkway.
I remember after probably 6 months of my accident, Bob, he sent me a book called No Barriers, which tells the story about Eric. I couldn't believe that Eric has done all of these things. He is the first person without vision to climb Everest, and not just Everest, the 7th summit. He kayaked the Colorado River by himself. This was like crazy for me. I was really amazed. A passionate guide about doing adventures all over the world.
Eric feels his way up a rocky, muddy summit, followed by the others.
We acclimatized on Paso Choyo, and then we felt pretty good, and then we did a 3-day mountain bike ride around Cotopaxi,
With this new handbike, I really saw the opportunity to do it, but I knew I needed a group of friends that it could help me.
The team, Jack, Eric, Bob, Matthias, Michael, Andreas, Rodri, Gaspar, Rafa, and Jack gather with their bikes and smile for the camera.
We're ready to ride. We're ready to get going, get the show on the road, right? Yeah.
Zuko grins as they start out. Eric rides on a tandem behind another rider. They all cycle past a town, green fields, and palm trees.
Being up in the highlands of Ecuador, riding this incredible terrain with the mist and the rain and the wind, and riding by Incan ruins and little foxes, and just being a part of the team and watching Zuko in action.
As the sun sets, the men pitch tents in the high country.
I remember being in such a remote area in the backside of Cotopaxi. There's not a way to get there if you're not by foot or on a bike. Most of the time, the 3 days, the lower you get is probably 3,000 meters. There's a pass over 4,000 meters.
Andres helps push Zuko's all-terrain wheelchair up a steep, muddy incline. From the top, nearly in the clouds, Zuko zips down a long descent, followed by the other bikers.
I loved the highlands, but the best part was actually going and riding to this beautiful farmhouse way out in Nowheresville.
In the sprawling homestead, farm animals lounge around a wooden barn. The rugged buildings have thatched roofs. Inside, the guests gather, sitting in a circle.
At the beginning of COVID, I started learning how to play the guitar because I thought, okay, I don't want to just survive this pandemic. I want to learn something. And so I started focusing on my guitar, and I've loved it since then. And so I bring it on trips. One of the local people, he took my guitar and he started playing amazing music, like local, beautiful music. Like, that's how I fell asleep, listening to that beautiful guitar music. And he had such a good voice, and I thought, this is the most special moment in Ecuador.
In the morning, Michael and Matthias reattach a chain on the tandem bike.
Of course, tandems are so finicky, you know, like they break down all the time. It was, the cranks were set up in a strange way where when you pedaled forward, you would unscrew the pedal and it would fall off. It fell off about 10 times. And finally, Mikhail and Matthias, they glued it together. So finally they fixed it. So the last day, everything worked perfectly.
A small herd of llamas watches the bikers take off. They cross the plains toward the peaks in the distance. They wind along a rocky road. Two team members help Zuko's trike across a creek.
Seeing how Eric sees lives and how he moves around and being outdoors and doing this trip with him, it was really amazing. To me and to all of the group, it gave us another way of seeing life, for sure. It was finding a friend that we share so many things, not just having some type of disability, but having this passion or this love of doing trips or adventures outdoors.
Good job, Eric! Thanks, guys. Hey, man! Appreciate that.
So it was, I guess, a really good way to start the Cotopaxi climb.
Whoa. Thanks, man.
Thin clouds stream across the face of the snowy volcanic peak.
Zuko says he really wanted to go up Cotopaxi because he wanted to be on the glacier and experiencing the mountain, you know, his local mountain, the thing he'd climbed so many times with legs.
men load up the gear.
So for the Cotopaxi climb, we had a pretty big group of at least 20 people. Most of them were climbing friends, climbing partners, or even mountain guides that we used to work together. After 7 years that I haven't been on Cotopaxi and being back with my friends, for me it was a huge thing. So the first day we drove to the parking lot, which is at 4,600 meters. And from there, all of this section is very sandy, very steep.
Subtitles. We are waiting for the boys. They went to check on the terrain for possible camping spots. They took some equipment with them, so we laid back, enjoying the mountain, basking in the beautiful weather.
Gozando de la montaña, viendo el clima que está lindísimo.
It's common to do Cotopaxi in 2 days. In my case, because I moved so slow and with such a big team, we had to do a lot of high camps, 1 night at the hut and 2 extra nights in high camps, carrying tents, carrying the stoves, food, a lot of equipment.
The glacier is just incredible. Yeah, I can't wait to get on it. Sebastian and I have been planning this for a long time.
The group eat together at Cotopaxi's climbing hut at an altitude of 4,800 meters.
Yeah, so a little bit of glacier.
I went to the site like 5 times.
YouTube,
Then we have Peru is amazing.
In the morning, Zuko comes out in his all-terrain wheelchair, which later will convert to a sled. He manages some carabiners.
We're ready to head up the mountain. This is pretty exciting, so we're all leaving as a team. I think we're gonna go up to, Americans are dumb, so we use feet. But like maybe 500 feet, something like that, somewhere around the base of the glacier, and set up a camp.
Time-lapse footage shows them in fast motion, completing a snaking climb to the higher altitudes. They pound metal snow pickets into the snow for the pulley systems.
It amazed me. Like I cannot believe that all of these people are there because they want to help me.
One of the things, like Zuko's friends are so amazing, right? He's amazing, but his friends like lift him up. And I find that so beautiful, so powerful, because when I went blind, I always had friends that lifted me up. And so it's so amazing. So I've always been blown away by teams and how teams rally around others and, innovate and create technologies and motivate each other to do something bigger than yourself. All of Zuko's friends, 10 friends all around him, pushing and pulling and helping, making sure he doesn't flip over. It's such hard work, and you think, why would people do that? And they do it because people are craving meaning and connection. It's not just about mountains standing on top, it's about connecting with others and seeing what's possible.
Fog rolls in. The support team hack at the icy snow and shovel pathways to clear the way.
So from the hut, we did, I want to say maybe 6 to 8 hours to the first campsite, which was just below 5,000 meters. So the first night on the first high camp, it actually snowed quite a bit. So the second day, it was hard. It was very technical.
Under a steely gray sky, with snow falling, they labor slowly, moving with effort, with ropes attached to several people at their waists as they pull Zuko's sled. Eric pokes his head out of the tent.
Hey! What's going on? How is it out there?
Good.
Yeah.
Better now.
All right. Probably meet you either tonight or tomorrow because Bob's not feeling so good.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you up there.
Yep.
It's a really wild place because when you're on the edge of the glacier, you know, everything's benign and simple. But then you get onto the glacier and there's crevasses and complex terrain.
And I'm in a place that I rely 100% in other people. I cannot move by myself, I cannot do anything alone.
The gratitude is one gift that Zuko gives the team, but also trust is another gift he gives the team. He trusts his friends. And that doesn't mean they won't screw up, they won't make a mistake, you know, but he trusts them. And that's so important to do anything big, to be able to fully trust the people around you, even though none of us are perfect.
Subtitles. Great. Thank you, fellas. Zuko smiles as he gazes upward. Pablo embraces him. Subtitles. Good one, my brother. Well done. Subtitle Zuko. I think that if it keeps on snowing this hard, the possibilities for summiting become narrower because of the risk of an avalanche. But we have to think about the best way to go down, and that gives us a bit more time. We can wait for the bad weather to pass.
Podemos esperar nomás a que pase el mal clima.
Nighttime. In the blackness, time-lapse cameras show the jerky, fast-motion movements of the team with lights from their flashlights flickering between and illuminating the tents and around the camp as the preparations are made for the next morning. While it is still dark, they pull Zuko to the starting point.
And being away from the mountains, I guess, is also something that at the beginning it took me a lot of time to accept, or to find a new way to go back to the mountains.
Altitude.
How are you feeling?
I feel okay. Yeah. Good to be here with the team finally. If somebody gets hurt and they lose their eyes or they become paralyzed, sometimes what you do is you look back into the past and say, wow, when I could walk, I did it like this, or when I could see, I did it like this. And then you get trapped, right? Because you can't move forward. So Zuko is a very unique individual that was able to move forward and say, okay, I can't climb the mountain with my legs anymore, but I can do it in a different way, and I can do it with my friends. That's a gift.
Gaspar and Eric approach the summit. Zuko.
We knew Eric was coming, we knew he was feeling good and moving fast. He went to the summit, he was with Gaspar and another guide. They were the only ones that made it to the summit that day.
They finally get to the very top, pulling Zuko up over the crest of the peak.
I always ask myself, like, what have I done to have such a good friends?
Because most of the world is going to say, I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's risky, it's scary, it's never been done before. So it's sort of a unique group of people, a unique community that say, yeah, we're going to be here for you and support you and get you as high up the mountain as possible, even if it's really hard work. And then, out of love, I'm going to push you off the mountain. It's crazy, kind of.
Thin clouds float across the rim of the bowl of the crater at the top of the volcanic peak. They ready Zuko's sled by attaching it to a paragliding wing.
Ahí va, 1, 2, 3.
Jack pushes Zuko down the snow slope. Zuko takes off over the edge, flying solo, working the lines with his hands.
Sometimes people have barriers in their minds, you know? They think, okay, you're in a wheelchair, you shouldn't be paragliding off mountains. But then you have these amazing friends here that say, yeah, I think it's possible. Let's figure it out. Like maybe nobody has really done it before, but we'll figure it out together and we'll go as far as we can possibly go together.
Flying between these mountains, thinking about my conditions that maybe I cannot walk now, but because of my friends, now I can fly. And that's such a big dream. It just happened because of them. Such a strong example of empathy, of friendship.
Zuko soars among the clouds, over the valley thousands of feet below. He becomes a small dot in the distance, blending into the hazy gray firmament.